Hello and welcome to All I Do Is Fail. I'm your host, Tom Elwes. I'm joined today, as ever, by my co-host, Mr. Ali Woods.
Thank you for having me back on. I was off last week, but it's great to be back. And I listened to it, and you did a great job. Well done, Tom.
Thank you.
Obviously, banter wasn't flying quite as much as you'd expect, but, you know, that's fair enough. You did your best.
I blame Andre. Okay? That's where we're at. We are joined today. We are actually honoured to be joined today by the fantastic comedian, Mr. Tony Law.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, well.
Sure, good to be here.
How you doing, Tony?
I'm
you
pretty
okay?
good. Hey, I was too busy looking at the cameras just then, trying to catch which one I was on. So I missed about Andre. What did he say?
Okay, well, what Andre said.
What Andre says.
Well, Andre's not coming back because
Who's called Andre anyway?
So, Tony, if you didn't know, Andre's a friend of the show, comedian, and we had him on last week. And
He was being controversial.
He was being controversial.
Yeah, he threw out some statements. He wants to bring misogyny back. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
all right. There's no worries.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't like it. But I've got a nice link. But I do
good.
like.
Yeah.
I am one of those people, like most probably. When you get told something's naughty, you feel like behaving naughty.
Yeah.
So, because I'm like one of the old. I'm like classic old school liberal. Like, don't be racist, don't be sexist, don't be homophobic. You know, and
All the
then
crazy
that's
thinking
it.
nowadays.
Yeah.
But then all the other kind of stuff, I feel like suddenly I'm out on the right. But anyway, being naughty. I was on the Twitter. Normally I just go on Twitter to go, hey guys, come to my show, or say something stupid. And so I was going to say something stupid. In the Saturday Guardian was the article about how everything is designed for men. Mm-hmm. And
Like airbags.
and minorities. No, just for men. Like airbags, thank you.
Yeah.
And loads of other stuff, apparently, like stab vests.
Yeah.
Apparently don't have room for boobs.
What they say?
But-
everything. That's
Well, hang on.
what
Here's
about
the thing.
bridges? You know, like what's
But here's the thing. There probably was this lady who she researched this topic for 4 years. So it's probably she's part of a book. So I bet it's like really interesting and well researched and all of that. But my instinct when I first read it was, I don't know. I feel like you're kind of telling me what to do here, or you. I feel like I'm getting in trouble and I haven't done anything. Yeah. And I thought I'll be naughty now. I'm gonna try and do. So I don't really think it through, like the consequences, like what her life must have been like after this article. I was just thinking, I'll send a little tweet to my fans, and they'll just go, "Oh, Tony's trying out misogyny a little, seeing how it fits." Because back when people were misogynists, I was so anti that that it just seems to be that's the way I go.
Yeah, we've come full circle. It's
I feel like being against the thing that seems anyway. So I just said, "Oh, look at this! It's like the Khmer Rouge. This reads like propaganda." Thanks a lot, Guardian. What a bunch of like that. And then I said, "What about?" Deep sea fishermen. And then I went through all the danger jobs that men do. Because I think that's kind of exactly. So anyway, lots of people jumped on it as if it was a
unlike
serious.
Twitter for that to happen.
Yeah, I know,
oh
right?
my God.
I forgot that sort of stuff
I
happened.
forgot that the internet
And they were just
existed for that.
hammering me. And rather
What were
than
they
be
saying?
like brave and stand my ground, I just went, oh yeah, I guess I really hadn't considered what it was.
okay.
Right. That's probably the smart.
But someone then brought race into it, which is weird. That I was being a typical white male.
Yeah.
Which made me just go, I hadn't even considered I was white until that moment.
Twitter's
And
gonna
now-
get there real quick.
Now I'm like on the internet looking up Matt Christensen, and I'm not going way to the right, but I'm so aware that I'm a white man now.
Yeah.
And I wasn't before, but man, I am a white man. What about white men? Yeah, because like it used to be, everybody was angry at the top 1% because they had all the stuff, and working class men were just as angry too. But then as soon as you go, no, it's all white men, then you've got like millions and millions of people, of these white men with no power and no influence and no... But they're all going, hey, you're lumping us in with the bad guys too. And so that I think they're just making some big mistakes doing that, because that group doesn't have a great track record when they feel their back is against the wall. You know, like I just keep going, let's have a look at the Soviet Union.
Yeah. Well, the Nazis.
It's you know, so the top 1% are rubbing their hands together and go, I know how to motivate these guys to be in our team, because everyone's putting them on our team. Crazy stuff out there.
Yeah.
So the irony is the people that are shouting all that are actually still small groups. Like, but that's the internet, isn't it? It goes and finds the craziest people
Yeah, it gives them a
in
voice.
every group, and then goes, "This is what it's like out there." When actually, it's a tiny amount of intersectional folks. There's not many of those.
It's given exposure and a voice to the most minute of minorities.
Yeah, ruins feminism's good name.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm classic. I like the old school. You know, I'm a Jermaine Greer fan. Oh. I love Jermaine Greer, and I
Even
Camille Paglia. She's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
She's definitely
I
on
don't
the
know Camille Paglia. Who's that?
Camille Paglia. Yeah, just Google her and Jordan Henderson having a chat.
Okay, I can imagine.
And it's just great. See, now, Jordan Henderson, my reasons for liking him right away was he's from where I'm from, Alberta.
Right.
And he hasn't lost his act. He talks like I talk. And but he's an intellectual. So I was just going, holy shit. There's a guy from where I'm from, and he's been to college, and he talks real good. And that's my first, someone showed me him, and I just went, this guy's great. I never thought I would ever hear anyone use those words in my accent.
But did you see him?
No offense, anybody from where I'm from.
He did give a bit of backing to the old incel movement, which weren't great.
Oh, yeah, he hammered those guys, didn't he?
No. He sort of,
he came back because
he
at first he said, you're all a bunch of whiners and you need to pull your socks up and nobody wants you.
Yeah.
You need to, what did he say? It's something like they need to do volunteering, like work at a homeless shelter, because that's the only use you are, because women don't want to mate with you. And then he had to row back.
He rode back quite far though.
But you got you got to admit he will hit he's a truth teller.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Oh yeah, he rode back a little bit hard.
Yeah, he rode back a bit hard and was like, maybe they've got a point. You know, it was Ed alluded to that maybe they had a point. And
I
he received a lot of flack for that.
Oh, I've only seen him saying how he was misunderstood about that, so I can't comment on that. But everything I listen to of his or read of his always seems, it doesn't. If you listen to it, like your emotions can get like, hey, I feel, but actually, he doesn't really say anything that isn't true.
Yeah,
and he doesn't.
Yeah,
not that I've heard. But anyway, he's just
a
a dude who talks with big words in my voice.
Make your bed.
Make your
bed in the
I have problems with that.
I'm so out of it. I thought when you said Jordan Henderson, you might be talking about the Liverpool midfielder. I was like, why is England and Liverpool centre mid talking to Jermaine Greer?
Did I say Henderson?
Sort of post-match
Peterson,
interview?
isn't it?
Yeah, it's Peterson.
Did I say Henderson?
No, you said Peterson.
I just in my head just went, oh, Jordan Henderson. What's he getting involved for?
Didn't Jordan
Very
Henderson?
different people. Yeah.
Wasn't he the pedophile?
No,
that's Adam Johnson.
Okay.
We have gone.
Sorry, Jordan Henderson.
So, we're a fan. On this podcast, we respect Jordan Henderson, Peterson, and not Johnson. There we go.
That's the standpoint.
Right,
So
guys, we are now going to move on to the news. We are now going to move on to the first section of our failed news story. Okay. And these are failed news stories from the news.
Well, one thing I picked up from Jordan Peterson as well, where he do this thing. I never used to do this. So I'm trying to do it now. You stop and think until it gets really awkward. Okay. So.
Okay, I'll give you the news story and then you tell me.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can't. I don't think I could follow through with it.
Yeah. All right, so the first is a vegan YouTuber shocks fans by eating meat for the first time in a long time. And then he found that he ejaculated for the first time in a very long time because of eating meat the night before. He had a wet dream. What does it all mean, people?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting kind of turn of events in his life.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like science.
Well,
Yeah.
that's everyone knows that sperm is in pork.
Not being able to ejaculate without masturbation or sex. Those days are long gone.
Really? No chance.
Having a wet dream? What are you kidding?
Having sleep.
Yeah,
It's just amazing.
I'm so old. Forget about it.
Where do you stand on this veganism stuff, Tony?
Veganism. Oh, it's a great idea. It's a lovely idea. And every once in a while I have a thought towards it.
Yeah.
But it's just, there's not enough time in my life to do that kind of
Make
effort.
nut roasts. Yeah.
I think maybe connect people more to the murder of the animals first, and make people more connected to it. I try and eat less meat because I've butchered enough meat.
Are you from a farm? Are you from?
I grew up on a farm, yeah.
So you're
but then I also
from
worked in an abattoir.
Wow.
That's where I saw a lot more guts than on the
hard
farm.
to be vegan there.
On the farm, you'd take, say if you're taking cattle into town, they'd be on the back of the truck, you back them up and you say bye to the cattle and they go off into a building and then you leave with a check. and when we were struggling for money, we would take some of the meat back with us too. We had this one freezer just full of meat. So when we were struggling for a while, we just ate really good off the cow. We didn't do much in the way of guts.
I think you got
Apart
a good
from,
point
like,
there.
sorry to interrupt, just before I forgot, like fixing the cows, but you deliver pills up their anuses and then branding, castrating pigs. But anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Maybe if you want to eat meat, you have to do all that.
There you go.
Yeah,
I reckon everybody should have an understanding of where it comes from, and then after that, better placed to make a decision on that.
Yeah, I think you should be able to kill the things you eat.
Yeah, I think Germaine Greer again on this is pretty good. She goes and butchers, as far as I know, she goes and butchers the animals she eats. I think she raises some pigs on her little. I mean, we can't all do that because we don't have enough land to raise our own meat.
Yeah,
But
also,
she talks her talk and walks it.
It's hard to have cattle on the second floor of a East London flat.
Sure. But any part of London you're going to do it in.
Also, it'd be a bit dark as well if you had to if you wanted to get some chicken or whatever, you had to go to a place where there was chickens and just slaughter your own and bring it home.
But maybe everyone go work in an abattoir for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know? Like a meat eater pass. You have to kind of do 2 weeks in an abattoir.
Do you know why this guy ate meat? Why did
he did
challenge?
it. No, it wasn't a challenge. I think he wanted to do it. He wanted to eat. He didn't.
He
Actually,
just wanted to. He was so sick and tired.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
it wasn't. Sorry, I should.
What was the
clarify.
lesson he was trying to give? Because everyone's trying to make a point.
Yeah. What's your point?
What's your?
Oh, I'm not one of those.
Good. That's interesting. Well.
Yeah, he just announced he's basically been this healthy vegan YouTuber.
Right.
Only been a vegan, then he started a storm. Basically, I think he did it for press, really.
Fair enough, yeah.
And where he announced that he was going to eat meat again.
Wouldn't it have been funny if everyone just didn't give an absolute shit?
Yeah.
And then they're like, so what? Who cares?
I feel like vegans are a vocal bunch.
So did they all come down on it?
Oh yeah. You can't be one of the biggest vegan YouTubers and promote veganism and then eat meat.
Isn't it like 1 in 20 people in society has mental health issues?
Okay.
At any one time. So you're gonna probably, out of the whole vegan community, there's gonna be enough for him to get a storm going, isn't there?
Yeah.
And then we're all gonna go, oh, vegans are all nuts. But actually, there's enough nuts in every nook. But let's talk about these nuts, though. These fucking...
Yeah.
You allowed to swear?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can
Go
swear.
It's the bloody internet.
Swear where you like. Yeah, so he did it. And then he just said that the weird thing that happened was he had a wet dream and ejaculated in the first time in weeks.
Was he thinking about the meat in his dream? Or was
I hadn't. He said he hadn't ejaculated in
months.
A surge of protein.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That makes absolute sense. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I'm guessing. But when I feed my dogs...
Science with Tony Law.
Here's some real science. When I feed my German Shepherd a bunch of meat, and actually this happened when we had our sausage dog too. If you give them a lot of red, raw meat, and they get super worked up and horny. And they just got these unwanted erections. So absolutely, that's what's happened to this guy. He's powered down the protein.
Whoa! Yeah, he's just ready. His body's so up for
and
it.
he's never worked on charm. So it's just he's just a fucking with none of the hubba. So
and he's just a YouTuber, so he's not used to talking
People.
with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just.
So he doesn't know what to do.
He's got his whole sex life subconsciously in one night, just done with.
Oh.
He just went, okay, guys, and then. And that
Hey,
was it.
that's why I used to masturbate so much as a kid. It was all the meat.
Yeah.
There you go.
All that red meat, all that
Yeah.
cow you were bringing home, just fueling your masturbation. Good. Okay, our second news story of the week is lightsaber dueling has been recognised as a real sport in France.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
That is so
the
good.
lightsaber dueling by the French Fencing Federation. They've announced that lightsaber dueling will be a legitimate sport. Has it gone too far? Should things from films transition into real life, or no?
Well, I don't care.
You don't care?
But
Good to have you on.
I
Tone.
don't know. I didn't know there was real lightsabers.
Well, which one?
It depends on which ones you get.
Oh, did you not see the news story this
Yeah.
week?
Oh, so Star Wars is real.
Yeah. So you've got to.
I knew it though. I had a hunch it would
Yeah.
be.
Well, it happened a long time ago anyway, so we should know
So
this.
depends on because you get those cheap ones at fairs
Yeah.
off the.
They're not
off
regulation
the
standard.
the what do you call them? The fair people. Carnies.
Carnies,
Thank you. They're cheap. They break, and a lot of that liquid comes out, and it's very. Don't let your kids buy one of those.
Right.
A
Okay.
carny lightsaber.
So we got to get a real good one, and I think that I'd sure watch a lot more Olympic lightsabering than fencing.
And that's the thing. They want to attract new and a younger audience to the fencing community, which is the point of doing it. And to be honest, like if you were going to light up swords,
Awesome.
I'd
I
watch
like
it.
that.
That's
More
cool.
obscure the sport, the better, isn't it? Like I always love the fastest growing sport. Every sport someone's doing is the fastest growing.
Yeah.
It's gone from 1 viewer to 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and they're
Lawnmower racing.
they're always as inarticulate as me, and they're on a news program going, actually, it's the fastest growing sport, the sport. Why do you think people like it? Because it's fast growing sport. Who's the other guy? No, I like the NFL. That's already big.
Yeah, I think that's
American
fairly
football.
established. Yeah.
What do you think of American football coming and doing it here? Have you
Love
gone,
it.
Have you gone along?
I go
Yeah?
once a year.
Who do you
Take my
support?
son. I like the Chicago Bears who are coming this year.
Okay.
Woo!
Go Bears.
Yeah.
Are they all right? I have no idea.
They're all right.
All I know is Tom Brady wins all the time.
Yeah, and he's very good.
He's quite good, isn't he?
He's the hardest worker. That's why, and he's smart.
And he's
Him
not-
and his coach is genius.
Not even the best athlete as well. Not very.
Oh
good
no,
athlete.
not by a long
Yeah.
ways. But he's got a gunslinger of an arm.
Yeah.
And he's got a computer brain. So he's just a nerd who can throw well.
Yeah.
And his
Put those
and
things together.
He's basically autistic, and so is his coach, and they are autistic champions, just showing what focus and
And a lot of hard work.
and a lot of hard work can do in
Yeah.
sport. But I can't believe I got it onto NFL.
Yeah.
Did you play?
I played,
What position
in high
were you?
school. I was middle linebacker and outside linebacker.
What are
I
those
was a
things mean?
medium-sized people.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was a great position because I got to do hits.
Is that what the Gronk does?
So, no, he's a tight end.
He's a tight end, Tom. Come
Sorry.
on,
But
man.
you throw the ball to him, he catches it, and then he tries to run over people. So he's a good hitting position too. He gets hit and gets to hit.
Do you? I got told I had an older teacher who was Canadian, and he said that they were instructed when they were doing American football was to tackle with their face
Yeah, we
forward.
were,
Like you
and
go
then-
into them. You don't.
Yeah, and it was shortly after that. Yeah, you used to try and they used to say with your eyes, try and like punch your head through them. That was the idea.
Surely with
And
head
always- but
injuries.
yeah, no, and I have bad neck injuries
I
to
wonder
this
why.
day. I had a cracked neck.
Oh
and,
Jesus!
Wow.
And then, long story that. I won't get into that, but broken neck, traction. Not then, it happened later. Slip disc. They don't recommend you tackle like that anymore. They have to hit with their shoulders because of all that. And concussions.
Brain injury.
Yeah. As if, I mean, we all sensed it was dangerous. That's
Should we say something?
you kind of knew,
Yeah.
but you knew as like high
Yeah.
school, I was coming to an end soon, and you always get those people who go, "Well, it's just rugby with pads," and no, absolutely, but it's also what do you do with people who you put like if you put helmets on rugby players, what's the first thing they're going to do? Try and smash you with their helmet, so
Yeah.
the helmet's like a weapon.
Yeah.
So it's gone way away from the original thing was to protect.
Yeah, no, it just well, if anything, it's made it more dangerous. I just feel like surely what I find weird about it is just like the fans watching it, presumably your parents, were probably quite into it and were wanting more hits.
Well, no, my parents were more into the hockey. They followed our hockey team all year, and they were like typical Canadian parents. Football was mine.
Okay.
It was mostly students, other students.
Is hockey the biggest sport in Canada?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, football, for a football fan, Canada's football is a poor relative to American football.
Okay.
Like our biggest teams in the CFL get like 35,000 people, and they get universities down there like 110,000 people. So yeah, we used to just, when we played, all the videos we used to watch were of the States.
And you say your son now, is he into it? Or?
He's into it, but there's no team for him to start playing tackle football till he's 14.
Right.
The
So
London
you're
Blitz,
just-
that's who we're going for.
The London Blitz.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, and he's allowed to play flag football.
Yeah.
So but he loves hitting. I mean, he's 10 years old, and it's just like, there's nothing he likes more than flying across the room and burying his shoulder into me when I'm not looking.
Brilliant.
And it
That
just like,
sounds really easy to manage.
it's brilliant. Like, it's just it's nature to him.
When
I
you
love it. He's got a big old hard head on him.
And do you ever do it to him when he's not looking?
Oh
Or-
yeah, I go way over the top.
You've got the weight advantage, exactly.
My
That's
wife-
it. You know, he's an
My
idiot.
wife says you have to be careful with the balance. You don't want to make him like lose interest, but I clip him and knock him right back.
I like
And you just hope you haven't winded him.
I like that they've taken like the London Blitz, like giving it an American name but with an English.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's the same with US MLS teams. They always
Yeah,
call them
yeah.
like European soccer teams. It's like Atletico Milwaukee. And it's just,
Yeah.
like what?
Yeah, no, I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, United. Yeah, it's the Salt Lake City United.
Yeah.
I get both of them in there.
So I try and keep, but what I realize about it too, it really is male bonding. It's like an excuse, like you knock each other around and then you hug. So it's just it's a lovely, it's just men like a more rugged hug.
We're all
That's
gonna-
all it is. It's rugged hugging.
Me and Ali are going to try and wrestle Tony to the floor at the
Yeah,
end of this
yeah,
podcast.
yeah. And then we'll really know each other.
I only wrestle 10-year-olds now.
That's
My days
that's his
of
league. That's what he's trained for
wrestling
now.
grown men is over.
Okay. That's something you could take us, Tony. Me and
It's a late
Tom,
night activity.
we
now.
go to the gym, but we're really soft.
Oh yeah, no, I'm very unfit.
Yeah, I'm hard on the outside.
It's a lot of effort. So you lose a lot of muscles doing all that wrestling. There's no need for it. There's plenty out there. I'm too soft for MMA and all that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't mind it.
That's such a high threshold.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something much lower than.
Yeah.
I think, and I know
No,
it's
like,
hard to admit
definitely
this, but
not
I
to
probably
do
can't
it.
do cage fighting.
can't kick people in the head or be kicked in the head.
My thing is, I was never a good puncher, but I could take one.
Right.
What?
I'm never a fighter. though.
That's
shit
the bully's dream.
I was a wuss.
Took it like a champ. And it's,
Yeah, I always kept getting back up.
Yeah.
More because there's always an opportunity for a joke.
Right.
You know, and that's not.
You can't
If
do
you
it
want to
from the
wear
floor.
out your opponent, you just take the piss out of them so badly that they just are so furious they start making mistakes. That was my friend Brian Halbert's technique, is to really insult people until they were so angry, and then he's sort of, it's like a verbal judo.
Wow.
And then when they were
wave.
tired, he'd pounce.
Sounds like Yoda, man.
Yeah,
So
it's
he
really-
did all the fighting for our gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to do any of it.
We've got one more quick news story, and this is something that I did of my own research, not even lifted from another article.
Oh my god, this is
is-
so
so-
rare for listeners,
yeah,
but
this
Tom's
is-
actually not quickly scrolling through his phone while
Yeah,
he reads
yeah.
this. He is
So
genuinely
this
ready
came,
for
this
it.
came from. So I don't know if we're aware of the escalating tensions between India and Pakistan. There was some escalating.
Is there?
That's why we
tensions.
brought. I thought you were an expert, Tony.
Yeah.
That's why we brought
I
you on.
used to be, but I've stopped looking at my news feed because it's getting so crazy annoyed.
Yeah.
But Radio 4 is always on in the background, so I heard a rumor.
Yeah, there was a pilot.
Is it
who
fake
was-
news or is it real
No,
news?
no, it's real. So there was a plane was shot down, and
Nice.
Pakistan are holding a pilot.
Oh.
But what I found the most interesting about this, so there was a live feed on Reddit of what exactly was going on. But then I realized that not only was I watching war in real time, but also other people were watching it and commenting on the fact that they were watching war in real time. And people were honestly commenting things being like, oh, are India going to do something? I need to go to bed. Like, it's just, that's where we're at.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
level of
That's a
apathy.
massive land war if that ever kicked off, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's such a dissociation, though, for our kind of generation, where you want to know everything about everything, but
Yeah.
don't actually want to get involved or
Yeah,
have
that's
it
how
affect
old-
your life.
I'm so old. I remember the first Gulf War. That's how old I am. And I remember when
the original war for
there was the
Pangea.
first time CNN.
when it broke across.
Yeah.
That Korean War.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
everyone was trying to-
I remember the Franco-Prussian.
yeah.
Everybody just lined up side by side and walked forward. You couldn't miss. They were
Charge
in
of the Light
reds
Brigade.
and blues. Shoot at the blue guys. Terrible type of war.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
a
like
mental-
first time CNN and all that stuff
Yeah.
came about. And I remember that was like, oh yeah, that is 24 hours of war.
But like now it's like so updated on news feeds that if they're like I don't know, I find it a weird concept that people can just watch war in real time on their phone while they're on the toilet. Like is that
And people are getting their sources are untrustworthy, but they're quickest.
Yeah.
So it's like the
Yeah.
people who are tweeting the quick.
Yeah.
Like, oh
Yeah.
yes, apparently like the pilot now is Pakistani, but he was actually Indian before. Blah, blah, and it's like some gibberish.
Yeah,
But
anybody-
people are going, oh my god, that's crazy.
It's
and
really
tweeting it.
egalitarian. Anybody can be Goebbels now.
Yeah.
Just send someone out there to make shit up. Let's get the heat back in this.
I don't
fire.
want to be Twitter Goebbels. That's not.
That's what they are, though, isn't
That's
it?
the Twitter logo. That's
Yeah,
the tagline.
It's
isn't
all
it?
propaganda.
Making anybody Goebbels.
Yeah. I'm starting an AIDIF sponsor Twitter Goebbels. That's oh my god.
That's these people that were try and whip stuff up, though. That's
Yeah.
they're not really much different.
Yeah,
Well,
Well, so-
depending on their politics, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you have the time if you're in a live war zone to be tweeting? Just like, oh, this is terrible. Like,
Social media is important, man.
yeah.
Work
Well,
for Trump.
I reckon. Imagine if like there was a war, like France, let's say, came in. There'd be a lot of tweets about that. If it happened.
I would say so.
There'd be a lot of war
Yeah,
tweets.
few Instagram stories,
Yeah.
just people taking selfie videos,
Yeah.
going, "Oh my god!" Like their French are in Trafalgar Square. They're
yeah.
literally
Yeah.
taking,
Yeah,
"Oh
yeah.
my days!"
Putting those bunny ears on the troops as they roll in.
people still being like, "Yeah, so I saw that you got invaded and stuff, but like." You were eating pork ribs, and I know you're a vegan, so
Yeah.
actually
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
like the biggest crime
Yeah.
that happened that
What
day.
did you do to make France mad? Just let France get it out of their system.
Yeah, shouldn't have triggered them.
Oh,
Literally.
Do you guys
and
have any
figuratively.
more of those Diet Cokes? Damn it.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we-
my fault. I have one in the car.
No, we can take a
can
take
take
a
a break.
pause.
No,
'cause we're
no,
about-
no, don't go get one.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, man, we're happy to if you want. You want
No,
one?
no, no, no.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No.
Do you
No,
want-
let's keep rolling. I
Okay.
just thought there might be one.
I do need to pee, so I don't.
Should we have a break?
Let's just
5
do a 2
minutes?
minute break. Yeah,
Get-
guys, let's
okay.
end the news. Wait, guys.
Let's finish the
thank
news.
you so much for this fantastic news section. This was informative and interesting.
Anything
Um,
else happening in the news?
And that was it. That's
was
all
it.
the stories from this
Yeah.
week.
Okay, well, I'm
Unless
not.
you've, we're going to take a 2 minute break and then we'll be back with Fail of Your Life with Tony Law. Thank you very much.
Oh, boy.
Right, guys, we are for the edit. We are now back in and we are going to move on to Fail of Your Life. Tony, take it away. The floor is yours.
Oh, what is the fail? Is it about comedy or can it be about anything?
your life and comedy? Normally.
Jeez. See, I've got. Everyone probably says this, but I've got like a lot of fails,
Okay.
especially in comedy. I'm the king of poor decision making. I have burnt some bridges. I've been up for 4 days and not slept and been on alcohol and drugs and then gone into my TV shot and given it a go. I've always found a way to self-jeopardize.
Let's do with that story. Let's
Oh,
go
that
with
was that was the last time I ever did a TV show was on Have I Got News for You. I was in a bad place.
Okay.
But I've watched it since. It was funny.
What was the year? Can we have a bit of a
I
set?
think it's 2014,
2014.
14,
Okay.
15.
Right.
And then I got sober and not been back on since.
Do you want to? So you 4 days prior to the Have I Got News for You? You were on a bender.
Yeah.
What we talking? Just booze and drugs?
Just your usual, because I got kids. I don't like to say
The D word.
I
let's just
was
say-
trying to keep myself sober. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I think we all know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't say it out loud, but that's I managed to keep myself right though. I managed to
So
somehow
you
pull it
turn up
together.
at the-
I feel like I could have been better.
Yeah. Well, because we had Carl Donnelly come on and talk about how he had he was on TV in Amsterdam for like this Comedy Central thing.
Yeah.
And he'd taken acid about 12 hours before or something.
Yeah.
But how were you when you turned up to the recording? Whatever you'd taken, but how are you feeling?
I was feeling weak.
Fair enough.
How many
But
hours?
luckily, I worked out ways to keep myself going
Okay.
during, and that saved me.
Okay. Wow.
Anything you can share?
I was there. I had a Evian bottle full of vodka, so I was able to tip that in, and that. Oh, thank God for that.
Did his lot
Bit
not
of
give you eyes?
Yeah.
Did anyone
Dark
know?
times.
Or did you?
I think Merton had a hunch, but I think he was also impressed that I was keeping it together, because I'd been on there a few other times when I'd been, just normal guy having a couple beers.
Yeah.
So I think he's a smart enough guy. I think he could gather. Tony's in a bad place right now, but he's holding it together. If anything, that's in a way, my greatest glory as an alcoholic. As an alcoholic, that was like
Your ability to hold it down.
yeah, that was like proper soldier shit. Being able to keep it together and be funny on the show. Not as funny as I was on the previous episodes, but that's not a reason why I haven't been back. That'd be who knows, like someone new as a producer or something. I don't know. But no, that was glorious. But if I could time travel back, I wouldn't be an alcoholic, and it would have been better. So epic fails, geez. There's so many of them. I suppose I should have thought this through.
It's okay. So just to say, so a lot of guests come on
Yeah.
and they do kind of one life fail. Could be anything. Could be relationship. Could be kind of just a silly story, or could be something quite serious. And then they do a kind of
Worst
comedy.
gig.
I've become
worst
so
gig
good.
sort of
I've
stuff.
been so good at editing out all my fails. So I
Cheers for
spent
coming on.
I spent about a decade dying on my hole at Jongleurs.
So how was that? So,
I was just incapable of. I knew I had to try and connect with the crowd, but I had already made a decision to do stuff only I thought was funny.
For our listeners, Jongleurs was
That was the mainstream.
It was a lot of it was a kind of a franchise of clubs all
Yeah.
around the country.
Yeah.
It no longer exists, but there was a Jongleurs basically in every city or town in England.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was filled up with people who 90% of the people didn't want to watch comedy. They were there because they're on a big stag do or something, and one person booked it for the group, kind of thing. So you had to kind of be really sexy, punchy, kind of like that, and
No
I just
word out
couldn't
place.
bring myself to say the things I needed to say. But so I'd try and convince them that surrealism was what they needed that night, and that
How
was
did that go
tough. Yeah, it was hard. So I failed at that, because at no point was I ever able to make the switches needed to succeed.
Right.
But they were still booking me.
Yeah.
But that's mainly because Reese Darby's wife was working there, Rosie, and she liked me because she'd see me do normal gigs, and she thought I was fantastic. So she just kept plowing me in there.
Booking you
So,
for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So we're talking.
that kept my rent paid though. So
That's good.
hats off to them.
Yeah.
So that's pretty epic fail.
But
Yeah, I don't always if someone says so my last agent, they got together like all their acts, like a showcase, and then they had all the people in from all the TV shows, and something in my mind, as soon as you're on show, something just snaps, and I just do terrible, and always doing that. And as soon as someone says you feel like you're on a pedestal and they're going, you need to do, it feels like if someone's being my boss, something just implodes and I'm just terrible.
Just self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage. And that's kind of my epicest fail would have to be around 2009. I started touring with Stuart Lee because I was about to quit. And then I hung out with him, and his audiences are really nice. And then I got an advert that paid off my debts. And then I had kids, and I was just writing, and I got really good, but 10, 11, 12. And then around 2012 it looked like I was going to get success. It looked like I was going to make some money, and I was winning awards and stuff. And then 13, this is only in hindsight, I just thought there was something. I worked every night that year.
Wow.
And something in me just went, you don't deserve this. You're a farm boy. All that bullshit.
Yeah.
And I just started drinking. And then 14, and then I thought, you know what? I need something that's going to keep me sober because I am too drunk all the time. Oh, I heard about this cocaine. And so then I started doing that secretly, not like going to parties and going, hey, you want to? Nobody knew. Well, at least I thought nobody knew. Nobody knew in my
That's the
mind.
confidence of a man on cocaine, isn't it? Yeah.
And
I'm so good at cocaine, no one can tell.
So I'd be white knuckling it.
The sheer arrogance.
Exactly, yeah.
Meanwhile, I've got a family life, so I'm like white knuckling it the whole time, trying to be a nice guy and hide all this stuff, and then go to the gig, and there's a sweet spot maybe in 2014 for a few months where I was delivering pretty great shows
With the good right level.
I developed new techniques. Like I became more like a hardcore sort of like whimsy, like more like, instead of like say one of the whimsy guys is gentle. It was more like kind of, here it comes and ramming the whimsy down your throat. Yeah. And then around 2015, that's when that all started to fall. So that was my epicest fail, was all of that business, that just self-sabotage. And then by the time I got to Edinburgh in 2015, my audience had started to dwindle a bit, of course. And TV had gone because I was just a mess. So, what the fuck going on with TV? Why can't I get a job on one of those shows? And so I knew something had to change, and also family situation changed. You got to sort this shit out or you're never getting us back. Fair enough. And so I was in Edinburgh on my own in the flat. Wife and kids are gone. And to get to my gig, the flat I was renting was like only about 300 or 400 yards around. But I was so scared and paranoid because I was like getting up, drinking a liter of vodka in the morning, and then a bunch of gack. And then I couldn't cross the street. I always thought I was being followed. Yeah, liter. And I thought I was being followed by people. And I was like crazy times. But then I get in there, and for 1 hour, I was all right. Somehow I was timing it. And this is, I think, pretty common amongst addicts. But for that hour, I was funny. But it was also, people were kind of, also they were laughing, but they were watching it like this. Because you could see this guy's right. And so I knew that was happening. I knew at the end of
there, like
so I knew at the end of the festival, so I'd already decided I'm making a big change. But for that month, and I did a lot of the show in a black cape and a horse's head. And it was kind of like hiding.
So some things were normal. Yeah. So you managed to keep some.
I felt such shame in myself, and I was like hiding myself. And I've talked to people who've been to that, and Russell Hicks was at that one too. And lots of people thought that was just the best show they'd ever seen. But other people are just going, I can't allow myself to encourage that. So that would be my epicest fail.
On stage with the horse's head and the cape, what was the...
I was talking about a racehorse called Hurricane Run who got shot after he broke a leg at the Breeders' Cup. And I was kind of weaving that into my life. And I don't deserve to be seen. And so I jammed the microphone in, and I was the horse, and then I was myself, and then I did a lot of it just from the floor, covered in the cape. And I can't remember all of it so well now, but but I knew I was going to end.
Yeah.
And get sober. And what surprised me was how far gone I was. Like when I got sober, like how absolutely just rattled and an empty shell as a person. So that would be it, because obviously then you got to start looking at who you are, and then you realize what kind of a dad you've been, even though you've told yourself the whole time, you've not, it's not affected them. But of course, daddy's hungover all the time, or way too friendly. So it's all that, and without getting too maudlin and boring or whatever the word. But yeah, that'd be my epicest fail, was letting not keeping it between the hedges.
Yeah, yeah.
And being a bit more, having a bit more guts to just go, yeah, why not? You've worked hard enough. You have some success. Don't be such a little twit.
It's an amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Oh,
Tony,
don't say that. Now you're making me feel gross.
But it's imposter syndrome is like a big thing amongst comics, but people as well. Just that self-doubt that creeps in. And it's funny, as you say, it's when things are going well. Like imposter syndrome, not when things are going badly, and you go, "Oh, I don't deserve this anyway." It's that self-sabotage that comes in where it's like, I'm about to get everything that I want, and I don't think I deserve it. So if I fuck around, then I won't get the things, but I'll know I only didn't get those things because I fucked around. Where I could have still. So you don't ever reach that point where you either do it or you don't, because you just make sure that decisions never been made.
It's actually when things are going not well that the sort of bitterness and arrogance slips in. That's and if when you're most I should be doing that.
That's right. Yeah, they feed into each other on a loop, don't they? And it was right around that time when I remember going to awards things and stuff and just getting really hammered because it's just the embarrassment of the fraudulent feelings, like so fraudulent. People are going to find out all I do is shout and talk about monkeys and move around and go and do like because at no point did I ever think that like that being funny was remember that was the point. Good times.
Good times. No, well, honestly, it's a recurring theme with so many of the people who come on this show is that, when things are going great or they get their opportunities.
If you've got the alcoholism already rumbling under, then it's lethal, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you don't, I'd be interested in how people manage to self-sabotage without the alcoholism there.
Well, for instance, so we had Scott Kapur on, and he was talking about
saunas.
Yeah.
About he self-sabotaged by a shitload of sex I wore.
That's where we had to do the recording. He was like, guys, we can do it, but it's got to be in this steam room.
We were naked. He wasn't.
We thought he was.
I remember even Scott Capurro even looking at me on a train ride going, when Scott thinks you've gone too far, it's time to have a look.
Scott as a sort of voice of reason.
He's in it. But he was saying that. So it was an alcoholism thing. But he said that he was doing really well. And what festival was it? Was it Toronto or was it? I think it was.
It was
Montreal.
Montreal,
Montreal festival, and the person who ran that wanted to book him in for loads of shows. But the year before, he'd said that Scott was a bit too shrill for him. And even though this guy was about to basically offer him the whole, to tour in Canada and just do amazing, I wanted to give him loads because he loved his show this year. Scott went, well, last year you called me shrill, so how about that? And walked off. Because he couldn't let that. So that's, I suppose, a thing that it's not always a kind of a drug addiction but there's so many ways that people can just self-sabotage, obstruct themselves.
Yeah, it's classic. Yeah, so that'd be my epicus.
So what is it now? So what motivates you now in doing these things? Is it to just be a better comedian? Is it your family? Every day try be better husband, try be better father every day, better than the day before, and then in comedy just try and be funny. And just kind of keep it simple. Yeah. And don't I got this goal and then I need to get on that. And I don't have that professional thing. Right. I just think how can I make people laugh? And by also not doing anything that you feel. I'll say it. It's not that I'm I'll do a bit about old people in relationships so I'm not snobby about what the topic is. It's just if that occurs to me. But just what I'm interested in is Vikings and stuff like that. So
but obviously you've got to keep it to
comedy I like to do.
And how do the jonglers people, I don't know why they didn't go for
and then every once in a while,
every
once in a while, if everyone says, that every once in a while do something naughty. Yeah. Just if an audience feels a bit too kind of po-faced and like that. I always think, well, I'm going to do an African character now. It's just there's something comes over you. This is the right time for that. To get under there. Okay. And then, but most of the time you don't do that.
What? All right. Do you want to give us your worst gig story?
Yeah. So you said the jonglers one.
Man, so because, many of those. Like,
well, to prefix this, by the way, maybe for our listeners, Tony is one of the most respected comedians in the game. I think. I mean,
really, so no one ever says that in front of me.
Yeah, because no one wants to lose face. But no, you do the things on stage that, as you're saying about, all I do is shout and stuff. But you do things on stage that a lot of people say, I'd love to kind of do that, where it's so off the wall and fun.
Well, it's also, that's one way of making yourself unable to fail. So like if you die at a gig, but you die doing your stuff, you're still the best at your stuff.
It's them.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But then when you succeed to people who like that stuff, then you're the best at that stuff. So it's kind of like insulation.
Right. Okay.
So it's like, it's to be deliberately out there doing your own kind of thing. You are always the winner.
Wow.
So I kind of keep a hold of that.
So was, as someone saying, is there like a specific night where you just think, oh my God, how did that go?
Yeah, I suppose you catch me every day, there'd be a different one. And I mostly block them out, but I'd say doing the when the troops were coming back from Afghanistan and they'd stop in Cyprus.
Yeah,
I was doing some gigs out there, and I was shit scared anyway, because these guys have all seen death. So I was really making the gigs way more important than just they want to see a confident guy. I was just like, I really need to do well for these guys.
How long are you doing?
20 minutes is all.
Okay.
And it was just me and one other guy, which anyway, I did really good when the officers came through. I did really good when some Navy people came through. And I was doing good. Yeah. And then the Yorkshire Rifles came through, and they had a really bad tour.
Yorkshire Rifles.
They'd lost a couple guys and a few guys. So they were like in tens. And I just crumbled. I had no bravery or confidence. I just went out like really weak and just died. They just woo, you know, like that.
Yeah, they gave it to
you. And I kind of deserved it in hindsight. I was too fragile.
Right.
And it was one of those things that, you know, when you're drinking too.
Yeah.
And you can't get drunk. Like I was trying to get drunk enough to do it, but all I was doing was slowing down my
thought process.
Wow.
Have you ever had a gig where, you know, people have come up to you afterwards and threatened physical violence, or, you know?
No, I never get that.
No, that's just you, Tom. So
yeah,
that's not a normal thing. Tom's trying to find someone else.
Yeah. Well, I said on a.
I've done that to people for not liking it. You don't know what you fucking don't get it. Yeah. You get back here. You don't get it, you dick.
Yeah.
Oh, another one. You know, I had actually there for after about a year and a half ago, since I started getting right in my head. All the gigs started going really good, and I was thinking to myself, God, I'm better than I was even in 2012, 13. I'm really on fire. And then I went to Liverpool, and I died on my hole at the gig that everyone was telling me no one ever died. Yeah, they said no one's ever died here. And as soon as I heard that, but you know what, I was really, here's my excuses. I was really tired. Yeah, I was really tired, but I was also arrogant because I'd just done a run at Edinburgh. It was my first gigs out of Edinburgh. And I had I wore white face with feathers on a big, you know, like crazy costume that, of course, to Tony Law fans, that's what they expect. They're like, oh, good, he's got a costume, he's making an effort with that. And I just took all of that, and then over 4 gigs, just did so insanely average. Like, I didn't die, but it was worse than dying.
Yes.
Like, I had fans of mine came to one of the nights, and that saved that gig. But it also meant 60% of the people didn't like it. And same thing the next night. And at no point did I change and think, you know what, I got to do wear street clothes, change the set around. I did it exactly the same all 4 nights. And so that's a big regret, but it was a wake-up call. And I quickly thereafter thought, you know, when you're doing circuit clubs, you got to have your tight 20. And that's what I used to do in 2012, 13, 14. was always I used to call it my Sean Locke 20 because he's such a hero of mine.
Yeah.
And anytime I've been on a bill with him, I've always had a really tight show to impress him. And my wife said, well, if that's what it takes to impress him, maybe you should try and take that with you into all your club nights. Oh yeah, it's a good fucking call, actually. You really you really cut through the autism, lady. I like it. I like it. Would you say? So then, so I got my Sean Locke 20 together after the Liverpool, and since then I've been able to go into gigs where previously I would tell myself they're not going to like me. They're just not artistic enough for me. But actually, when you've got it nice and tight and powerful, people like all sorts, and you can't judge.
Also, if you can pull them on board with sort of 15 minutes of tight stuff, then you can get a bit abstract towards the end.
Yeah, and it's still abstract, but with
more punch.
Yeah, and also this is the land of Monty Python. Everyone's there's no. I was just being anti-classist in my heart, even though I've always been desperate for the working class people to like me because I'm working class. And then I thought, well, maybe that's the problem, is just thinking that thought is weird.
Yeah.
Just go and try and be funny. So anyway, so Liverpool, Hot Water, and Soldiers Coming Back from Afghan.
Have you ever done anything on stage like surrealist wise that you thought, I've gone too far? Like this is
all the time.
This is gone.
All the time, just doing sounds or listening. I've done that a few shows. I was trying to get a laugh through listening. Sometimes you can get, with the right crowd, you can really get that going.
Yeah.
I don't know what it were. I know last year's show I had where I just put a torch on a bear. Because when I got the bear out and I put him on I just started laughing at him. It just made me laugh. Because it used to be in a show I did in 2013, this bear. And I got it out and I couldn't figure out what it was. I was drinking heavily back then. I was like, what did I do with this bear? So I started bringing the bear to the shows, and then I thought it would reveal itself to me. But every night I would just look at the bear, and
looking at the bear.
Eventually, I'd start shouting at the bear, because the bear was kind of taunting me. He was saying, "This is who you were. You were an alcoholic. Fuck you, bear. You think you're so great? You do the show." And I'd leave the bear with a tight spot in his face, and I'd leave, and then Johnny Cash would come on, and if you're brave enough and you leave it long enough, after about a minute, people start to laugh.
Yeah.
If you're not brave and you take it off too soon, it doesn't get funny. But you leave it on there if you're really brave, people can get 5 minutes out of that. Just go, what the fuck? Why is we still looking at it? It is funny. And then it gets funny again.
Yeah.
But that works 40% of the time.
Okay.
But that 40% though is sweet.
I would love to have the bottle to be able to do a bit that only works 40% of the time.
But then for those people, it's that's the most amazing thing.
But even my kids are getting old enough now to realize that Daddy is not making good financial decisions for the family in his career choice. Why don't you do a thing where they could put you on the TV shows and stuff? I'm doing that, you guys. I'm trying hard.
You're not seeing my meta bear bit? What's wrong with you?
They're there in suits. Come on, Dad.
That not far off, I hope. Yeah, someone's got to take this thing by this neck.
Right, Tony, thank you so much.
Oh, pleasure.
Seriously.
I can think of a lot more things in my previous life before comedy for next time's show.
Yeah.
Well,
let's get you back on.
Next year.
100%. We would absolutely love to have you back on.
About the time I killed a man. That was a fail.
You and Glenn Wall.
Glenn Wall.
Yeah, I know the guy he killed. And I know why. I wouldn't call it a fail, Glenn.
Is there anything you want to plug?
I'm on tour right now, right through the United Kingdom. When does this go out?
Probably Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. I'm all, check out TonyLaw.com. Someone out there puts my dates up on the website.
Cool.
It's not been changed.
Cool. I'd absolutely recommend Tony Law. Check him out.
Yeah. Have you got any Edinburgh shows or Twitter handles?
Going to Edinburgh?
Yep.
Twitter, MrTonyLaw.com. Code, whatever Twitter is.
At Mr. Tony Law.
Yeah, Facebook, I'll be your friend.
Hold your hand.
Instagram. I got my video series on Instagram where I talk internet crazy talk, but in the woods with my dog.
So there was 2 more sections of that sentence I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, me and my dog go out in the woods, and it used to be just me and him doing little films in the woods, but now we talk internet crazy talk, because I thought all this crazy talk, why is it limited to the internet? We need to take it outside.
Yeah.
And so we just rail against all the isms and ideologies.
What does your dog think about it? What is it? Is he strong right wing, or is he
all he is he calls himself centrist, and he just doesn't like ideologies, and he doesn't believe in intersectional victimhood. So some people call him right wing, but I think he's just truthful. His main thing is he doesn't believe in identity politics.
Okay.
And I'm just going, you would say that.
Yeah.
Because your group identity has not been on the other end of the boot. He's going, actually, if you really knew your history about German Shepherds.
All right, well, we got to check that out then, man.
I haven't done anything like that yet. I'm only on 3 eps.
Okay.
But that's the thing.
So, is there, when things are going bad or have gone bad for you, is there any bit of advice you would give our viewers or listeners?
Try get over it as quick as possible. Put on a podcast and get it out of your head right away, because you tend to give yourself too much. What did I like? You can figure out what you did wrong, and as soon as you figured out what you've done wrong, that's it. That's done.
Okay.
Great.
That's not super insightful, but
yeah. Ali, anything you want to plug before we go?
I'm doing it in Brighton in May, so check it out. I think I'm doing Black Dove and Artista Cafe so check those dates out. It'll be my work in progress show, so it'll be 45 minutes of old Ali Woods, and that's probably it. And our night, of course.
Yeah, we launch on Tuesday at Vauxhall Comedy Club, the AIDIF sponsored comedy night. Me and Ali hosting. Yeah.
Every Tuesday down at Fire in Vauxhall, just in the outside bit there. You'll be able to see it if you get to Vauxhall Station. It's about a 30-second walk.
Yeah,
every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Great comics.
Tony should come.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, you are welcome anytime.
We'll definitely book you on a spot.
It's a lot like Jongleurs. If you. But yeah, we're looking forward to launching that. So that'll be 5th of May is the first one.
And Vauxhall Comedy Club and our insanely talented producer Mooch.
Shout out Mooch.
Vauxhall Comedy Club. As well as doing all the podcast stuff, is getting a really good thing going down there, and we're all very excited about it.
Absolutely.
Right, guys.
Great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Cheers, Tony.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.